and how he performs in the first season of Dreamhack.
Yeah, we shall see as we load in here to Blackburn LE. Joining us in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, the Red Zerg player. Playing for Alpha X and hailing from India, it is Demi.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Blackburn LE, we have the Australian Protoss, widely renowned as the best player in all of Australia, representing Legacy Esports. It is Probe.
Blackburn, this is a map I haven't seen a lot. I mean, I don't think a lot of players have been playing it, no?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. There are a lot of slow zones here outside the main bases, so, you know, it can make drops a little bit awkward, especially when they try to retreat. You know, they can take some extra queen shots, for example, like Void Rays and Oracles and such. Also, yo, we got gold bases.
We got gold bases. That'll be real nice for a Zerg player like Demi. I mean, yeah, it should be good. Honestly, this looks like a Legacy map, like a Legacy of the Void map.
Yeah.
Legacy of the Void? What am I talking about? Wings of Liberty.
There are a lot of people that were saying that, like, visually it kind of looks like a little bit like Scrap Station or some of the other more industrial looking maps, right? From Wings of Liberty. Yeah, it does have that feel.
It's got the Wings of Liberty vibe, you know, it's got the bases in the same half of the map, etc.
Yeah, definitely.
It's got that vibe.
It also is on fire, and there's a little guy repairing, trying to keep everything
There's
afloat.
a little guy. He's just a little guy.
It's opening panels,
Just
trying
a
to.
little guy.
Little does he know the platform is on fire.
He's fixing the wrong thing. The vent is on fire, dude.
Yeah.
What do they pay these robots for?
They don't. That's the unfortunate thing.
Oh.
That's why he doesn't care, mate. He's like, you know what? That's not my job. You know, I got a panel to fix.
Ooh. He's got to fix that one.
Oh my god. But yeah, there is a lot that goes into this map. Also, the rush distance by ground is relatively short, but at the same time, there are still some slow zones here. So depending on how you rally your reinforcements, they can go through them. It can take a little bit longer. Yeah, a lot of features.
Yeah, lots of interesting features to this map. Again, a very unique layout with the bases on the same half of the map vertically.
Definitely. We've got a lot of rocks as well that can come into play. Obviously, the gold base is very vulnerable if units come in from behind, so you have to take that into account. Make sure you spread your creep, make sure you have lings or some units in position to defend. And for the first time today, our Protoss player is not opening up Stargate.
Yeah, he's actually opening up with Twilight Robo. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense in this map, I feel. Though at the same time, Stargate play can be very good with the fact that you can go from one main base to the other.
Oh yeah. Like, again, the rush distance by air is very small, right? Very short. So you can go for Sky Toss, you can go for mutas as well. Again, there are pros and cons, especially with the slow zones. But very interesting that Probe is opting to completely neglect Sky Toss and going straight into Glaive Adepts.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like because of the ground rush distance and the slow zones, Twilight Robo does make a lot of sense, but also it's Probe, so it also makes a lot of sense that he's going for this sort of Twilight Robo play. I don't really see him as much of a sit back, make Void Rays kind of Sky Toss player.
Yeah, he wants to be active, right? Like, he doesn't he doesn't want to just sit back and make Void Rays and just laser everything to death. So we'll see how he does here. The Overlord did go in and did get a relatively nice scout. He was able to see the Robo. At least he is well aware that it wasn't a Stargate opening.
Yep, he knows the Twilight Robo is here. He knows it's probably Glaive Adepts. I don't expect a charge lot rush coming from a play like Probe.
Yeah, exactly. And so far, Demi, you know, he's responding well, right? He has a wave of lings to chase those shades. He has a decent amount of queens. The role of these queens are going to be to zone out and maybe even focus down the War Prism that's coming across the map. And the Roach Warren just finished up in time, so he can start producing roaches.
Yep, he's gonna have a few roaches ready for this push, and that should help him quite a lot with the lings helping to chase down those shades and keep him on his toes. And Demi, again, also very used to this sort of thing. Though 4 links getting in here. Taking out a Stalker.
Yeah, very surprising, but of course he does have to keep his attention here with the main army as the Adepts are shading in. Also, the War Prism does get into the main base, does for now.
The shade complete to the ramp into all the links, but still a really good position on the ramp here, not a lot of surface area, and these Adepts are going to be able to clean house with the glaives.
Exactly, the Queens were not in the correct position to deny that War Prism, so there was another warp in. The Adepts, they do shade into the third, and there's nothing here.
Yeah, there's like 2 roaches and a queen, and they're going to be absolutely shredding through the mineral line here. Getting a lot of damage done as they continue shading.
Yeah, exactly. And even though Demi has a bunch of vision here, he doesn't have creep connecting the bases. Like, it takes so long for these Queens to move out from the natural into the main.
Yeah, and by this point, the War Prism is just out of there.
Yeah, Demi, he's really struggling to hold on here. Like, again, he does have a bunch of roaches on the way, but, like, there's no mining here at the third. He could even lose this third.
Yeah, I mean, he's setting the shade off here, probably to get his glaives out. Okay, gonna shade into this middle line here. Gonna be able to clean up these lanes, and he's probably gonna focus on the middle line here as the roaches try to stop them. Shade as well, coming in from a wave of reinforcements. As everything shades in, are they gonna hit the main? They do hit the main, and Demi just gonna tap right out of that game.
GG. He had the tools at his disposal to defend, but again, like, there wasn't creep connecting the bases, and that is huge. He didn't have enough roaches. Everything just fell apart real quick there.
Yeah, I mean, the defense was looking good, but that shade onto the ramp, it looked like it could have been good, but there were no roaches or queens to help out. And the things just get cleaned up.
That they do. GG. And with that, we are going to be going to a short break, and soon after, into game number 2.
Welcome back, everyone, to Dreamhack Masters 2021 Summer, Oceania and Rest of Asia, Group A, the first match of the group. We're here with Demi versus Probe, game number 2. Probe currently up 1-0 in the series. And yeah, we're loading into the next map.
After a very quick game 1.
Very fast.
Oh boy.
Very fast game 1.
Mm-hmm.
But here we are, loaded into Oxide LE, the second map of the series. Currently down 0-1 in the series. Joining us in the top right-hand corner of the map, the Red Zerg player, hailing from India and playing for Alpha X. It is, of course, Demi.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the Australian Protoss player. He is blue, currently up 1-0 in this best of 3 series. Representing Legacy Esports, it is Probe.
Well, we'll have to see how this next game goes and see how Demi plays, so... We'll also have to see how Probe decides to play this. If he decides to, you know, go to the sky toss, or if he decides to stay on the offense.
Definitely. I do think that one of the factors that did motivate Probe to go for those Glaive Adepts in game 1 was the map. We were talking about it, right? Blackburn, very short rush distance by ground. Those Adepts, they just zoomed across the map. They were already in the base of Demi. He was semi-prepared, right? Like, he had a bunch of wings, but, you know, that did hit pretty quick.
Yeah, no, it hurt hard and it hit fast, and yeah, no, Demi just wasn't able to deal with it, even though he seemed fairly prepared. He had his Roche War, and he had his Queens, he had his Lings, but it just wasn't enough.
It's all about execution, you know. It's all about the creep spread. It's about following that warp prism, you know, making sure your queens are on top of it as best they can be. And yeah, unfortunately, he just couldn't really pull it off there in game number 1. I have to wonder, you know, is Probe going to do that again, or will he embrace that sky toss a little bit more and open up with the Stargate?
We'll have to see, as the timing is about getting up to when he slaps down his first tech. Cybercore is coming up.
Yeah, that it is. And already Probe being a little bit annoying, you know, as we saw, he does deny the natural base, forces Demi to take it at a little bit more of an awkward position. Does mean that if Probe does decide to go for a Twilight Cancel, like, it's going to be that much more annoying to deal with.
Yeah, and he does immediately get the warp gate, so we could be seeing the Glaive again.
Yeah, we definitely could.
He cancels it.
Yeah. I love, wow. So the Overlord, the Overlord dipped in. He saw it researching, and just because Probe was just faking him out, and he cancels it and goes straight to the Stargate.
That's a pretty good one. Now he's gonna force Demi, or we'll have to see how Demi reacts to this. I mean, it's entirely possible he just overcommits to the defense, and then Oracles and Void Rays show up. Ooh. And he still sees it working.
Yeah.
Timings.
He does. Oh god, there's a Stalker here as well to deny the Scouts. We'll see if Demi can get that Overlord into the main base and try and bypass that Stalker.
Ooh, the Stalker does walk away. He left his post. He's going to the front door now.
And with this, Demi should see this, right? It's like he should be able to go in and, yeah, he should finally realize what's going on.
Should. I mean, it's entirely possible that Pylon sees the Overlord before the Overlord sees the Stargate, and he can chase it away, but nope, he's about to see it. Yeah,
Probe.
And he sees it.
Yeah, unfortunately, he did want to deny the Scout, but as we saw, the Stalker was out of position. The Overlord did get in, and now Demi is well aware that there's an Oracle coming across the map.
It is still slightly late, though, and I imagine Demi was mentally preparing for a Glaive Adept push, so seeing the Stargate is probably going to catch him off guard a little bit and really throw a wrench in his rhythm.
Exactly. Thankfully, he did already have 2 queens at his third base, so he does push away the Oracle 4 now. At the same time, Demi did make a wave of links, so we're going to try and deny this third.
Yep, that Pylon is about to come out, though. He should be able to get off a Warpin to defend this third base. I don't expect to see a cancel, but you never know.
Yeah, I don't expect that either. But, you know, the links are here. They're chipping away at the Nexus. It looks like, the Adept will go down.
Yeah, they're getting at the Pylon, but there is a Void Ray here, so this is over.
Oh.
Well, you know what? if you're Demi, you take a pylon.
Yeah, take a pylon, cancel the warp in, you know, whatever damage, right? It all slowly adds up. So nicely done so far by Demi, especially since so far this Oracle hasn't really done much at all.
Yeah, it hasn't been able to get in, really. It's only been able to get off one of those revelations. I forgot the name of the ability for a second.
Yeah, was it? Oh my god, the interception!
Uh-oh. 7 HP.
Oh god, oh god,
Recall.
oh god.
Oh no! You recalled in the wrong spot. The queen was able to hit it.
Exactly, the Demi's queens got there just in time. The Oracle does go down, and only for 2 drone kills.
Yeah, no, that Oracle not getting in the work that it needed to. Again, it got 2 drone kills and a single revelation. Not the most efficient.
Definitely. Meanwhile, would you see Probe? He is transitioning out of this at the moment. I don't believe Demi has gone in for a scout. No, he has not. But Probe is going to +1 and blink stalkers.
The +1 blink should be a pretty nice little upgrade there.
Yeah.
Should be able to do a bit of work.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I love this from Probe. Again, more commonly we see charge lots, like charge lot Archon compositions with robo units. But again, Probe knows who he's up against. Demi, he loves going for mutas, and blink stalkers, like, they're gonna do well both against roaches and mutas.
Exactly, he's going for a bit of the double whammy blind counter. I mean, either way it works out, so he's just going for the blink stalkers right away. Should be able to deal with the mutas quite effectively.
Yeah, and I have to wonder if Demi is stubborn enough to commit to this, because he just got scattered, and he knows he got scattered, right? The hallucination, it went all over his bases. That's why we see Phoenix production commence for Probe. It's going to be really difficult to make these mutas work.
Yeah, I don't see it really happening, and he's currently doubling down on the roach production as well. So I expect him not to really commit hard onto the mutas. We'll have to see when the Spire finishes if he does make that first wave, but based on his production right now, I think he's focusing heavily on the Ling Roach Ravager.
Yeah, which is the smart choice, right?
That's the play, when you've got Phoenixes on the way.
Yeah, but we do see Demi, he does want to eventually go into mutas. Like, he's still committing to +1 flyer attack. I also love, I don't know if you noticed, but Probe actually went and confirmed that Spire with the hallucination. He's even, like, scouting again just to make sure, or he can make sure it wasn't cancelled or anything like that. But of course, he does have to bear in mind that, you know, that tech is still there. You know, whenever Demi so chooses, he can switch into it.
Yep, he can absolutely start making mutas whenever he wants, but presently, I think Probe is ready mentally, at the very least.
Oh yeah, mate. There's cannons, there's shield batteries, there's phoenixes. Like, he should be perfectly fine against it if it does happen. But right now, Demi, he's just focusing on Ling Roach Ravager.
Yep, pretty classic ZVP build. Gonna hit the 4th here, very quick cancel. Doesn't really want to take a big fight to try and defend it or anything.
Yeah, he just kind of gives it up, and I respect that. Like, it would have been really difficult to deal with all of this, especially when you didn't have a heads up of where the army was. Right now, Probe is following said army pretty well, so, you know, he can try and meet it.
Yeah, just in case Demi does decide to commit to a timing of some sort. But as we look in the production tab, there is a wave of mutas coming out. He's decided to try and make it work.
Yeah, we'll see if he can pull it off. You know, there's still Phoenixes in the main. So hopefully Demi doesn't go into the main, even though that's like the first place you would go. So I'm kind of worried for the mutas.
Yeah, I mean, the instinctual rally is into the back of the main base.
I think that's where they're going.
Those links to the drones. Yeah, I mean, that looks like the exact pathing for what you would do with your rally.
I think what's really smart is, a free Ravager does get picked off. Demi has to be so careful as Probe is trying to finally attempt to get a 4th base up and running. I love that Probe has been keeping these Phoenixes hidden, by the way. Like, he never kept it with the army. Like, Demi has no idea that Probe is this ready for the mutas.
Yep, and ready he is as the mutas walk into the main base into a cloud of Phoenixes. They're going to be hassling a little bit here. Not a huge Phoenix count, but it's enough to discourage the mutas from doing anything. Meanwhile, scuffle in the middle of the map, nothing too big.
Yeah, nothing too big whatsoever. We just see Storm on the way. Charge is complete. We're gonna be seeing High Templar and Archons coming out here for Probe, and Demi is committing to the mutas.
Well, he's doubling down on this. He really wants to make the meters work, but with a Templar Archives already up, we're gonna start seeing storms coming out. We're gonna start seeing charge lots and archons coming out. This is gonna be very tough here for Demi.
Definitely. Meanwhile, Demi does hit that fourth base, does try to get a denial there, but is forced back. Probe was in position to defend it.
Oop. Here come the Phoenixes, picking up a couple units, getting value out of them. Oh.
Ooh, that Muta Cloud does take down one of the Phoenixes, and there we go. So I was about to say that the one thing going for Demi is that Probe doesn't realize how committed Demi is for these Mutas, and because of that, he didn't have a Fleet Beacon. He didn't have Anion Pulse Crystals. Now it's on the way, but it's not ready.
Yeah, it is not up already, and he still doesn't have a massive Phoenix count, so that second Stargate possibly going to help these Mutas going straight into the middle line, though. He has so many Mutas here. And he's really committing to this push.
That he does. He has to be careful again. The Stalkers are not too far off. They're ready to blink on top of these Mutas. But the Mutas, they do back off. Loses quite a few of them, though.
Yeah, trading out quite a few Mutas here and really committing to getting into the main base with his Mutas. And he's still making more Mutas. He's very focused on this mass Muta build.
And, like, that's just Demi for you, you know? Like, he loves his Mutas. He'll try and make it work. He'll try and brute force it if he has to. And it feels like that's what he's trying to do. Meanwhile, Probe, he's getting literally everything anti-Muta, right? Like, he's getting Archons, Stalkers, Phoenixes.
Storm. Phoenix range. Ooh, those Muta's actually doing work. And then the Roach Ravager on the fourth base, because everything is back here trying to defend against the mass Muta. But this Muta cloud is getting thinned out, but there's still so many here.
Yeah, a lot of Mutas do fall. Meanwhile, there was a recall. It looks like Probe will be able to defend his fourth base. Nice storm on the Ravagers. All this will be cleaned up. And meanwhile, the Muta cloud is still finding some damage with the production, but again, he's losing a lot of Mutas.
Yeah, he is trading out quite a few, but this camp on the production here is actually pretty good. He's already taken down the Stargate that was actually pumping out stuff, and he's still able to make more Mutas.
Oh my god, and Probe goes across. Probe, he doesn't even defend. He's like, you know what? I don't care about any Mutas. I'm going for the base trade.
He's just committing. He's handshaking on this base trade, and he's going in here as his production is getting camped on, and that actually pulls the Mutas back home.
Yeah, exactly. You know, somehow, some way, that was able to pull away those Mutas. And Probe, he doesn't even take a base. He just kills a couple of workers, and he backs off. Oh my god,
I mean, he pulled the Mutas out of his production, but he's really far behind. Good storms here coming onto the links, and a storms on top of himself to try to do with his Mutas. There is an Archon underneath this, and this is clearing out quite a lot of the Mutas. This Archon's still alive for quite a while.
Oh god, yeah, the storms did a lot of damage, but in the end, the Probe did lose the majority of his army. Demi now well ahead in supply. He's going to be coming into this fourth base. It looks like he may finally be able to take it down.
Yeah, he's been working at this fourth base for so long. He's committing so hard to these Mutas. There's nothing but a handful of Blinkstalkers here. Like, that production getting camped was really bad for Probe, especially after he decided to offer the base trade.
Definitely, and honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that Probe only had that one Archon. Like, when you're up against Ling Muta like this, like, Archon is like the perfect unit you could have. Sure, it's a little bit immobile, but it does so well against everything that Demi has.
Yeah, I was expecting way more Archons, and it just didn't happen, and looks like this Muta Cloud is actually going to clean up and take the game, tying up the series.
Wow, GG, well played. Demi just sticking to his guns, just going for nothing but mass Muta and Ling, and in the end, it actually worked.
Yeah, it worked. I'm surprised.
Yeah,
but it did.
Like, Probe had all the information, you know, he was switching into those Phoenixes, he was doing whatever he could, but hey, Mutas they're a pretty good unit. They're just built different.
It seemed like Probe had it on lock, and then Demi just kept making Mutas and kept being really oppressive and keeping Probe from being able to deal with any of the Mutas, or to deal with his bases specifically. So Demi able to keep the production up.
Yeah, wow. GG, well played. And with that, we'll be going on a short break, and when we return, we will have our ace match.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Dreamhack Masters Summer 2021 Oceania / Rest of Asia Group Stage. Group A, first match, Demi versus Probe, ace match. As we load in.
As we load in.
Yeah, as we load in. The player is quick on the gun there. Loading in here to Juggernautha LE for this ace match. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map, the Red Zerg player currently tied up in the series. Hailing from India and playing for Alpha X, it is Demi.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Juggernautha LE, we have the Australian Protoss. He's blue, representing Legacy Esports. Currently getting 12 pulled. It is Probe.
Demi going absolutely full send on this last game, just getting that 12 pool right away.
Exactly. So Probe does go for a Probe Scout. Thankfully, he will check and he will confirm that it is a 12 pool, but even if you scout it, your defense, your response still has to be on point.
Yeah, we'll have to see how he defends and if he decides to overreact or not. And that'll also decide on Demi's follow-up.
Exactly. As unlike Ender, Demi does make sixlings. Again, like Ender he lost his mind. Not going for them in his series against Ranger. It's crazy. Not just sixlings, by the way. He did make an extra pair, so it's going to be 8 lings coming across the map here from Demi. They of course get confirmed by this probe.
Yep, he will see it. He will also continue to delay the natural a little bit.
He's making more lings, by the way.
Yeah, he's like committing to this a little bit, just a little bit, and that's gonna force Probe's hand if he undercommits here, thinking that Demi's not gonna commit entirely like he is. Then
exactly.
That could be really bad.
Yeah, 10 lings in total here for Demi. Of course, Probe did chrono out his first Zealot. A second Zealot is on the way. He also has a Probe here to micro and body block and make sure the Zealot doesn't get surrounded.
Gonna be dancing with the movement here in the wall, trying to avoid the surround on the Zealot.
Yeah, exactly. And as all this is happening, that Cyber Core is starting to get low.
Yeah, Demi not wanting to play the back and forth game of the wall and deciding to instead try and bust down on the Cyber Core, and he's getting pretty close to it. And
he's gonna get it. Probe, he gives it up. He throws down a backup Cyber Core. He's like, you know what? I know I can't defend it. I know it's gonna go down.
Yeah, he's just giving it up, and Demi will take a nice delay on the build order and just leave.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh, he actually just cancels and puts in the wall, so even more of a delay.
Yeah. Warp Gate is going to be so delayed here for Probe. The Cyber Core itself as well, so a really nice start here for Demi. As Demi, he's still a little bit behind in terms of the workers, but the damage he dealt was pretty significant.
Yeah, and he still has so many lings left over. He can just sit there and drone.
Exactly. I would think so, as these adepts are getting towards that natural base. Lings, they're not too far away. These adepts shouldn't deal too much damage.
Lings heading towards the main. Possibly gonna lose a couple of drones here, but nothing too major as the Lings go first round.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too major is the big thing there, as the adepts do shade away. Oh my god, one of them barely escaping with 2 HP.
What an absolute gamer that adept.
Exactly, and this makes a lot of sense to me as Probe. He is going straight for that Stargate again. Like, that Warp Gate was delayed by so long. May as well just skip it and just go straight for the Stargate.
Yeah, I mean, even then the Stargate timing is delayed too because the core was delayed. So just overall, pretty big build order delay.
Exactly. Demi, he goes in with his Overlord. Again, nothing shoots up. So he does confirm that the Stargate is the tech of choice.
Yep, he sees it. And he sees the Void Ray being made too.
Oh, these adepts are being so annoying, by the way.
Yeah, they're actually getting quite a bit here. Ooh, they will probably die here, but yeah, no, hitting 3 more workers. These 2 adepts have killed like 6 Germans so far.
They have. It's insane. Those adepts did do a really good job across the map, killing a lot of workers there. And things, Probe was able to repay that damage that Demi dealt early on. Here comes the Void Ray. Again, Demi confirms. Now, the real question is, what does Probe go for after this Overlord is killed? Are we going to see another Stargate or Twilight Council?
We'll have to see the follow-up. It's very difficult situation for Probe, honestly, because for Demi, trading out that, like, losing those drones, pretty impactful, but for Probe, every single piece of tech he has is delayed. His entire tech order is delayed, so we'll have to see what he decides is the correct course of action.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm sure Probe is feeling pressured to deal damage, you know, as well as those adepts earlier. And these Lings, despite not having speed, dealing a lot of damage here, taking down this Zealot again, delaying the third.
Keeping the third from going down for a little bit.
And the Oracle
goes in.
Yeah, it does go across the map. I mean, thankfully, Demi, he saw it pretty early on. There's already a Spore. We already have Queens.
But Probe will confirm the lair.
Oh, that he will gets another drone there and just barely escapes.
Barely getting out of there. As, second Stargate is his follow-up.
Oh my. So, I know that there are some Protoss players that don't go for this. You know, they're a little bit stylistic in that way. But Probe just showing his versatility here. You know, in one game, going for Glaive Adepts. And now in this game, going double Stargate.
Yeah, probably gonna doubling down on the Void Ray production too. We'll have to see if Demi goes back in with another Overlord to potentially scout the double Stargate and see this committal from Probe. And we'll have to see his response. Probably walk the Queens across the map as usual, but I mean, I feel like the number of Void Rays coming out should also be a good indication.
Yes, this should indicate that there is a commitment into that Stargate. Meanwhile, oh my god, at the same time, the Oracle dives in, gets 2 more worker kills. And this is getting kind of scary. Oh, I don't know how I feel about this.
That might be the wrong play entirely.
We'll see. So clearly, Demi isn't going to march his Queens across the map.
No.
But a Muta switch, if he has enough Mutas, could work.
Could work, but if Probe gets his Muta speed, Void Ray speed, then it becomes a problem.
It definitely can become a very big problem. I mean, okay, so Demi's well aware of what he's up against. He throws down 2 extra Spores in his main base to make sure none of his tech gets sniped. Gonna buy a lot of time for his Queens to reposition. He has plenty of Queens to defend as well. This 4th base is a little bit vulnerable, and Demi wants that 4th. Sorry, Probe wants that 4th.
He wants it. He wants it.
I think he's gonna get it.
He's actually gonna get it. Yeah, he's gonna get the cancel for free.
Demi not having vision, not having his Queens in position there.
Yeah, I mean, he's going for Ling Run by here, but again, this is still looking good for Probe. Demi again with the Spire. Interesting choice. Also, he has 2 Road Forms, by the way. I don't know why.
Does he? He does.
Yeah, he does. He has 2.
Oh no. Demi, please. Oh god. And again, some people may be thinking Corruptors. I assume this is going. I just assume because it's Demi, it's going to be Mutas. Probe is already starting Phoenix production. The foresight of Probe.
13? Yeah, Probe reads this really well. He knows the Spire is there, and he's like, okay. Well, if you're going to play that game, I'm going to play this game. Yeah. And I'm going to win.
Probe didn't even see the Spire, by the way. He just knows. He's like, yo.
He knows that Demi's response is going to be Mutas over the Queen Roach push.
Exactly.
And it's already so late in the game. I don't think the Queen Roach push can win.
Exactly. I mean, the Mutas are going to be popping out here. There are a lot of them. As you said, 14 Mutas, right? That is significant. They can definitely fight at least these Phoenixes. Or the Phoenixes to reveal themselves to Demi, though.
Yeah, I mean, Demi now knows that Probe has his response at the ready. But again, Probe as well, with the Templar Archives, he's so ready for this.
Yeah, exactly. To be fair, Demi did win a game where Probe saw the Mutas well ahead of time, was prepared for them, and he still lost. So maybe Demi can make this work.
Maybe, but also this is very hard onto the Sky Toss, as the Mutas show up in the main base here. Gonna be able to snipe some of these static defenses coming up here, and get on the production a little bit.
Yeah.
Gonna be able to take down the pylon that's powering both the Stargates.
Nicely done. Good. Yeah, nicely done there by Demi. He has to be careful though. He's actually diving on top of these Void Rays.
Yeah, he's going straight onto these Void Rays. These Void Rays don't have speed. They're not able to get out of there in time, and they're all gonna be taken out by the Mutas.
Storm did finish, and the Storm does land. 2 Storms land on the Mutas.
Good Storms are gonna push them away as well. So Probe able to hold, but really, really good damage here from the mutas off Demi.
Definitely, definitely. Demi was almost like pushed in towards that Archon. If he did, that Archon would have killed so many of those mutas. The mutas were so low due to those storms, but Demi, solid control there, and a massive wave of Lings behind this, looking to try and take down this Nexus.
Yeah, probably gonna be able to take out the kill off this fourth base, which is really bad.
Yeah, exactly. And like, sure, there are a bunch of Phoenixes, but again, they still don't have Phoenix range. We do have a couple more Archons on the way though, and I feel like Probe, he's realized what he was missing that last game.
Yeah, it's the Archons. These two Archons should be able to absolutely obliterate a poorly stacked muta army.
Exactly, exactly. So I do love that Probe has been able to adapt over the course of this very series. We'll see if it's going to be enough here. The mutas once again dive into the main base. Oh, they meet all the Phoenixes though.
Yeah, the Phoenix is very good micro here from Probe. Able to keep that range out. Ooh, Demi try to snipe the pylon again.
Oh, he does get one, but there was a second pylon. Oh.
He's gonna get the second one. Oh, not again.
Oh, and 2 Phoenixes fall. There's only 4 Phoenixes remaining here, and Probe is going across the map.
He's again offering a base trade, and we'll have to see if Demi decides to take it, or if he just denies the base trade and goes back home.
Hey, there's plenty here. There's plenty here. Probe, he sees the army, turns back around. Oh my god. Probe,
this
he's
is
being
not looking good for Probe.
Yeah, he recalls. He was being a little bit indecisive. You know, he wanted to go for that. He wanted to pull the mutas back, but he just couldn't do it.
Yeah, he was going for the base trade. Either Demi accepts the handshake, or he just comes home and takes the mutas away from Probe's base. But instead, just the army at home from Demi, able to stop the base trade altogether. Probe, not sure whether he wants to play the coin flip and try and commit to that, or just go home and defend. And either way, taking massive loss.
Exactly. Beautifully done there by Demi, denying that fourth base once again. Probe, he's just stuck on 3 bases. He just hasn't been able to get a fourth up.
Yep, and again, the mutas coming in, gonna dive into these pylons.
Oh my god, it looks like one Phoenix will come out, but again, these pylons are not long for this world as all 3 of them get taken out. At the same time, Baneling run by 20, 30 probes go down.
This is not good for Probe at all. These mutas and these Banes doing so much damage to production from Probe. He's offering once again, take the base trade.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's 100% all in. He just has to send that across the map right now. This is all that Probe has. Meanwhile, look at all these Banelings. They're going to morph in. Oh my god, are they going to crash with the Archons? Oh god.
Okay, Demi, proactive moves the Banelings away from the Archons. Good storms, these Banelings going to be taken out. But here comes the mutas, and both Archons going down immediately. The storms are pretty good. The mutas just move out of the way. There's nothing but gateway units and Phoenixes. Yeah,
to be fair, there's still a lot here for Probe. Demi has to be very careful with how he engages with this army, especially because there is still energy for more storms.
There's at least 2 more storms, I think.
The Banelings!
Yeah. Oh, the Banelings! The High Templar's gone down, and he can't make another. It's only Blink Stalkers and Phoenixes to deal with the mutas now. And these mutas, there's so many. The upgrades are there. He should be able to clean this up.
Oh my god.
Possibly.
Exactly, there are barely any Stalkers left. The Lings are flooding in. The Phoenixes are doing a really good job. Again, the mutas, the cloud is still quite large.
Yeah, there's still so many mutas and he's just still getting out-traded here. The mutas, just way too much here for what's left for Probe. And Probe, his production's still in shambles. 35 workers.
Yeah. Exactly, like this is the last stand. Demi, he pulls the boys. He can afford to lose workers right now. He's perfectly fine. Every single Stalker goes down.
Yeah, all the Stalkers are gone. It's now a Phoenix versus muta battle. The Phoenixes, though, the micro very good here from Probe. Able to barely outrange and just keep the kiting good and trading very efficiently with the Phoenixes. But he still doesn't have a lot of Phoenixes.
Exactly. On top of that, again, he was all in. He had to end the game with this push. He's still on 3 bases. He's barely got any workers. To be fair, he actually has a couple more workers than Demi because Demi was forced to pull the boys. Yeah. So, yeah, he's evened up the economy.
It's evened up the econ, but again, I still think Demi's at a pretty good advantage.
Definitely. Meanwhile, I mean, Probe is still being active out on the map. He's not out of it yet. There is a bit of a Ling run by, but yo, we have Archons to defend.
Yeah, he does have Archons, so very scrap. This game is just all over the place, but Probe staying alive and with that all in, and not able to kill, but not dying either.
Yeah, and this 4th base for Demi, it's pretty isolated. I love this Demi. He evacuates. He realizes how much at risk this base is, but he's still going to lose his workers.
Yep. The Phoenix pickups here, going to be able to take out quite a few workers here. Keep the worker count even. I mean, Probe is just soaring ahead in worker count now at this point. Because Demi, after how efficiently those Phoenixes are trading, having to replenish his Sky Army, deciding to go with the Corruptors to deal with the Phoenix is probably the correct play, honestly.
Yeah, like Demi was so close to winning this game. he was so close, but that micro from Probe able to keep these Phoenixes alive. Demi, his response to these Phoenixes are the Corruptors, but what is his answer to the Archons? Like, he is starting to make a Roach Ravager army, but Demi, you mentioned it before, he is far behind in the worker count, and I don't think he realizes it.
Yeah, I think he didn't realize how many he lost, and he's still continuing to lose them, while Probe has had... Like, that all-in gave him just enough space to recover his worker count. These Phoenixes, the movement is good, and he's just getting harassment damage. Again, Probe with such clean Phoenix movement.
Yeah, bearing in mind, this is Phoenixes without Anion Pulse Crystals. Like, they don't have Phoenix range. Like,
they don't have range. And he's microing them so perfectly that he was trading like 3 for 1.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, Demi's really struggling here. Now he is focusing on droning up, which is definitely the right call. But we've reached a point where both players are defending at home, and now Probe, he should get away with the space. And this is crucial.
Yeah, this has to go up with the positioning of the game. It's 16 minutes into the game. He has to get this 4th base up.
Exactly. It does get scouted by Demi. Demi's aware the probe is expanding. Demi, he's taking his own 4th. I feel like Demi, you either double expand or try and deny or do both. Looks like the mutas are headed towards that nexus.
Yep, he wants to deny this because he knows the main's basically mined out by this point.
Oh yeah, there's no minerals at all. Oh boy. But here come the mutas and the corruptors. The corruptors, they can focus down this nexus, and nothing here shoots up.
Yeah, nothing here to defend. It looks like the Sky Army from Probe on the other side of the map is going to have to fly across the map. There are Archons here, but I think he's just going to give it up for now. Okay, Demi acknowledges the threat of the Archons and decides not to take that engagement.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get caught out. Meanwhile, yo, that Phoenix army is massive right now. 15 Phoenixes.
Ooh, and he's about to meet that Sky Army. Here we go. We'll have to see how this stacks up, and it looks like Probe is going to be able to take a massive lead here into the start of this little scuffle.
Exactly. Loses one Phoenix, but for 1 Corruptor.
Yeah, pretty good trades. I think it was 2 Corruptors.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, Demi, he's working on his Corruptors, but here we go. Phoenix range is now on the way. And Probe, he has brought himself back into this. Looking for workers. There's nothing here at the 4th quite yet.
Yeah, ooh, Link's coming through, but Probe's got the army here. He knows this 4th base of his make or break. But at the same time, for Demi, he's been on 3 bases for a while, and his 4th is not even up and running.
Yeah,
he's finally moving workers over.
Finally. Meanwhile, these Phoenixes, they're still keeping Demi in check. Demi is rebuilding those Corruptors. He's actually focusing on them at the moment. I'm a little bit concerned because, yeah, we'll see. Probe, he's just going deep into creep right now.
Yeah, he's not even clearing it. He's walking in. The Sky Army from Probe, really good here. Massive Phoenix Cloud, gonna push the mutas into an awkward position. The mutas and Corruptors want to dive into these Phoenixes, but the Archons, good positioning, able to keep them off, and Probe could just walk into the natural.
Oh my god, and you know what? Now the High Templar are here. The storms are here as well. This is looking terrifying for Demi.
So many storms. The entirety of Demi's ground armies on the side there, able to get stormed on. Those High Templars do get taken out, though, with some good bait connects.
Oh my god, at the same time, I believe the mutas were taken out by the Phoenixes. The Corruptors are trying to dive in. It looks like Demi will win the battle on the ground, but maybe I spoke too soon. The Zealots come in, and there are still so many Phoenixes.
Yeah, the charge lots come in. Those Archons doing so much damage to the Roach Ravager. All the Sky Army is gone. There's nothing but Phoenixes and Zealots here to clean up, and Probe will take this series.